24/7 Digital Now Center. This is Beyond the Forecast with your most accurate local meteorologists.
Well, we say good morning, everybody. Brett Thackara here with you. It is another week, and for many of us, today is a holiday, which is just fine here on this Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Hopefully you're enjoying a day off. Maybe the kids can do a little bit of sledding out there, depending on where you're at. If you are west of the river, you probably didn't see a lot of snow, but if you're east of the river, boy, did we get those snow totals. And not only do I want to recap the weekend because we had some questions about it, we'll talk about it, but I also want to look ahead because we've got some Arctic air that is going to be plunging southward across the country later tonight and tomorrow. And then we could have another storm brewing for the weekend. Not a given yet, but it is why I always say we will keep you posted on these things because, of course, social media is abuzz with it. Whether or not it turns into anything, way too early to tell, but we will start to discuss the weekend here coming up in just a bit. So let's get into today's headlines as we look at the sun coming up over Lancaster City. And look at the snow on the ground. You can see it now that the sun is up, and there is plenty of it in places like Lancaster County. A chilly and windy day later today. Winds could gust over 30 miles an hour, maybe close to 40 miles an hour, and that's going to add a chill to the air. A frigid wind chill tomorrow with sub-zero feels-like temperatures here as we move into Tuesday morning, and then a milder midweek is ahead. We could get back into the 40s for one day only on Thursday, and we will talk more about that. Look at the piles of snow here in Hershey cleared out of the parking lot. We're looking live from the Hershey History Center toward Hershey Park, and you can see Hershey did very well over the weekend, both Saturday morning and Sunday morning. Dan Tomaso, living outside of that area, said, this is probably the best snow I've seen yet this winter, and these were two storms that really didn't show up much in the models until the day before each one. But look at these reports now. This is just from Sunday. Strasburg getting 6 inches of snow, and remember, this is just Sunday morning. Lidditz, 5.5, 4.5 for Ephrata, 4 just Sunday in Hershey, and 2.4 in York. And so if you factor in what fell on Saturday, some places in Lancaster County got up to 8 inches of snow. So for those of you that were surprised by this, again, let me break down how this played out because we do try to be transparent with that. So I left here on Friday after the noon news, thinking that we would get a few snow showers on Saturday, but that it wouldn't amount to much. Well, all of a sudden, the afternoon suite of models came in Friday, and Eric Finkenbinder called and said, hey, I think we're going to have to actually start talking about some accumulating snow on Saturday. I think a coating to 2 inches for most, but there are spots in our eastern counties that could see maybe over 3 inches of snow if this lines up well and hangs on. I said, great, let's put out a map. He agreed. He started to talk about it Friday night. If you follow me on social media, I put out the word, and we said Saturday morning looks snowy, especially for our eastern counties. I also posted a picture. I'm located in northwestern Lancaster County. Eric, of course, is in Perry County. And Saturday morning, he woke up with absolutely nothing, and I had about 2.5 inches of snow. So I posted that picture to Facebook just to show that there was clearly a disparity in snow totals. And I had to work Saturday night, and I came in and said, you know what? I could see a repeat of this Sunday morning. I think, guys, we have to put out another snow map. So we put out a 1 to 3 inch snow map with a 3 to 5 inch contour more toward Lehigh Valley and Philly. And I got on here Saturday evening and I said, you know what? Eastern Lancaster County, there's another wave that wants to come in for Sunday afternoon. They could see even more snow. And so we talked about that on Saturday too, and that played out. So there were some places that had a very snowy weekend, and it really wasn't until 24 hours before each hit that we felt pretty confident in each one because they just were not showing up in the models. That storm on Sunday jogged so far to the west that we had to start alerting folks that Sunday morning would be snowy. So let's talk about the future now that we did a recap. And because of that snowpack, look at some of these temperatures where the snow fell at a good rate this weekend. It is 8 degrees in Lancaster and 11 degrees in Lebanon. Snow is always going to do that, especially when the winds are calm, which they are this morning for the most part. It's going to make it colder. That snowpack insulating things at the surface, keeping it cold. Meanwhile, Harrisburg and New York, which saw some snow but not as much, temperatures in the 20s this morning. That's much more likely. But if you look at the fall over the last 24 hours, we've seen these numbers fall by anywhere from 10 to close to 20 degrees. It has been a significant significant trend downward for these numbers. Now, we have an Arctic front that is going to produce some snow today. I do want to point out, too, if you are traveling, maybe you're going skiing today, later, or whatever, I'm going to draw this line here. This I-80 line points to the north and west of that white line are likely to see snow showers and snow squalls today. Some of our mountainous communities here may also see some snow showers or squalls. I think for the most part, the Susquehanna Valley is protected from this threat today. It's just going to turn cold tonight and tomorrow, and I mean frigid. So expect a mix of clouds and sunshine on this Martin Luther King Day. It will be chilly and windy. Most of the snow is going to hold off for northern and western parts of the state. But a high of 33 may not sound bad, but the problem is, look at the winds. We are forecasting here winds at near 40 miles an hour, the gusts. So that's going to make things feel a little bit unpleasant. And then tonight, sub-zero wind chills here, which is pretty impressive. I know this is the time of year we get them, but we haven't had them in a while. Lows will be down to 10. And may I just say, I could see Lancaster County, Lebanon County getting a lot colder than this because of the snowpack. So there you go. Here is the Arctic front, by the way. I've highlighted it on our water vapor loop, and this is where this Arctic air is diving southward, right here. And so it moved into Chicago last night. If anybody watched the Bears game, then you know what I'm talking about. They had snow, excuse me, and then it got mighty cold. And so we are expecting more of the same here with some truly Arctic air that is going to be set to move in here tonight. Look at it. -6 in Bismarck, 7 below in St. Paul. It is 1 degree in Chicago. And these are air temperatures, not wind chill, but I would not be surprised if some of our eastern counties with that snowpack see some really cold air here tonight. Watch Precision Cast. We do get into the low 30s today, or at least we should, even the areas that saw some snow. But tonight, the sky's the limit for the bottom of these temperatures. Most of us should be sitting around 9 or 10 degrees, but I'm telling you, watch Tower City, Lebanon, and Lancaster tomorrow morning. It wouldn't surprise me if they fall to near zero. And that's not factoring in the wind, because the winds tonight are going to be pretty impressive. It is going to be breezy. And then tomorrow afternoon, highs will only be near 20 degrees. Some of us may be in the teens. Wind chill values staying in the single digits. Look at the winds today, over 20 miles an hour. It's going to get gusty here on this Martin Luther King Day, and notice the winds stay between 10 to 15 miles an hour tonight. 1:30 tonight, still blustery. Tomorrow looks breezy, a 15-mile-an-hour wind. And if you thought things were going to just shut off, I do think the winds go calm Tuesday night. But look at Wednesday afternoon, a wind at about 20 miles an hour coming in here from the southwest. That's going to warm us up on Wednesday a bit, but it's still going to be breezy, and the breeze can be a nuisance this time of year. Temperatures today are going to feel like we're in the 20s. And tonight, sub-zero readings. So tomorrow morning is going to be brutal. 0 to -5 degrees, and maybe colder than that for the areas that saw the snowpack. And meanwhile, single-digit wind chills here through the day on Tuesday. So a mix of clouds and sunshine on this Martin Luther King Day will give way to mainly sunny skies here. I think tomorrow looks bright and brilliant and sunny and absolutely gorgeous, except it's just going to be frigid. And then Wednesday, another front is going to be set to move in with a few snow showers. Again, those snow showers look to stay to our north and west. Most of us should be dry for a good chunk of the week. Now, next weekend's a different story. Let's look at the extended forecast here as we move into the end of the week. So here's this front on Wednesday into Thursday right here, and that is going to head eastward on Thursday, but out ahead of it, we probably get mild. I could see temperatures on Thursday being in the 40s. Now, what happens over the weekend? Look at this. This snowstorm has been fairly consistent in the model guidance here since over the weekend. Now, I want to point out a couple of things. We continue to be on the northern edge of this storm. It is trending northward, though, but right now the bullseye, before anybody gets carried away, the bullseye is sitting over Virginia, D.C., and Delmarva. That has not looked to change. This would be a Saturday into Sunday snow, and I'm going to talk more about it in just a second. The other thing I want to mention is the frigid air that's going to be locked in place through the end of January. This weekend looks mighty cold, and if we do get snow, that cold air is going to stick around for a while. So chilly and windy today, but you ain't seen nothing yet. Sub-zero wind chills tomorrow morning and single-digit wind chills throughout the day. Now, Wednesday and Thursday will be milder. Thursday looks like the warmest day this week. But look at the weekend. Not only is there potential for snow Saturday that maybe could linger into Sunday, but look at the temperatures. We dip down into the single digits here each weekend morning, Saturday and Sunday, with highs only in the teens. So you're talking about some serious, serious stuff. I want to, for a second, focus on the temperatures here, and I'm going to pull up some of the long-range guidance here in just a second. I also want to look at the upper-level temperatures, and then we're going to talk about this potential snow for the weekend and see just how interesting this setup looks. So let's first go with our 850 temps, because you're going to see this cold air kind of barrel in tonight. 850 temperatures at minus 20 degrees Celsius is mighty cold. And then watch the cold air reload. I mean, we get a little bit warmer here Wednesday and Thursday, but look at this big Arctic air mass coming in for the weekend. That could actually block the snowstorm and keep a lot of it to our south. But boy, it would make for some good snow too. And look at how we stay cold here. Look at this air mass that just keeps descent. Look at this. It reaches all the way to Georgia and Florida by the end of the month. And we don't see any warm-up coming anytime soon in January. So we're going to stay cold here, it looks like to me, for the rest of the month. That's something that, again, we're going to be watching. And I don't just mean cold. I mean it stays fairly Arctic. So let's show you that here. We're going to try to bring up – let's look at the long-range temperatures here for a bit. Let's pull it up. Notice after Thursday, temperatures start to free fall. Highs in the teens for next weekend into the following week. We don't start to moderate again until February hits. So January, and certainly the second half of January, look Arctic. And that's something that we are going to be very interested in seeing play out. Now, let's talk about the weekend snow. Right now, I'm not overly excited about it. And there is a reason for that. And the reason is that the majority of the models keep this thing farther to the south. Now, let's make one thing clear. If you have plans over the weekend, you're going to want to pay close attention to this, because this is going to affect the D.C. Beltway, especially if you have travel plans. If you have any sort of plans or just rooting for snow, listen, it's possible that this thing becomes a bigger deal. But right now, everything is trending. The majority of the snow is trending south of us. So there's Thursday's front. Notice the snow showers wash out. Now, I'm going to play this model out. This is the Euro AI model that has a lot of folks buzzing here. And I'm going to show you Saturday into Sunday. And the latest run keeps everything more focused on Sunday now. But I also want you to see south central Pennsylvania is on the very northern edge of this. Look at where the heavy snow is. Southern Virginia into Delmarva. This would be a Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, parts of the interior Carolinas, West Virginia snowstorm. We could get clipped with some snow, but the bullseye has never been over us, and it doesn't look like it will be. But certainly just to our south, to me, it looks like things could get interesting. So this is what we're going to be watching. And by the way, if this tends to jog northward in the next couple of days, then it's something we really do need to keep an eye on for the weekend. So again, part of our job is to not only understand the threat here, but it is also to talk with some realism about the chances of a big snowstorm. I think the chances of a big snowstorm somewhere in the mid-Atlantic next weekend are looking higher, Saturday into Sunday. What I'm not confident in, of course, is where that is. Do we have a big impact here in central Pennsylvania, or do we just get clipped and is the majority to our south? That certainly seems to me to be the case right now. But we've seen these things jog north and west before. In fact, it happened just this weekend. We didn't get monster totals out of it, but some areas did see a half foot between Saturday and Sunday. So this storm bears watching. We are going to watch it, and we're going to keep you posted throughout the next couple of days. But know this, the Arctic air is coming back with a vengeance tonight. It's going to be frigid tomorrow morning with sub-zero wind chills, and we anticipate more Arctic air by next weekend, even if it doesn't snow. So that is something to keep an eye on, too. For now, and again, we'll update you every single day this week. I am meteorologist Brett Thackara. Thanks for joining me here on Beyond the Forecast.